This is what happens when you get locked in the school bathroom. So he asks to go to the bathroom. He walks down the empty hallway, pushes the bathroom door open, and does his business. But when he's ready to leave... What the heck? The door won't budge. It's like somebody locked it from the outside. He's pushing, pulling, nothing. He checks his phone. Crap, there's no signal in here. Now at this point, he's already been gone 8 minutes. So I guess he does the only logical thing. He looks at the ceiling. He steps on the sink, he pushes open the ceiling tile, and he army crawls through the drop ceiling. Now he thinks he's going towards the hallway, he hopes so, and right when he thinks he's above the hallway, he lifts the tile open, but he falls right through. There you are. Right there was his teacher and the vice principal. What on earth are you doing? The bathroom door was locked, so you climbed through the ceiling? I mean, I couldn't just stay in there, right? Well, you could have knocked or yelled for help. Also, the bathroom's not locked. Here's what happened. When he got in the bathroom and did his business, he was about to leave, and he tried opening the door, but it wasn't the bathroom door, it was the supply closet door in the bathroom. They looked very similar. But he panicked, didn't look around to see if the actual door is right there, so he climbed through the ceiling. You know what? Just come to my office. You're getting detention. And he got a detention for property damage and making terrible decisions. You ever go to a neighborhood garage sale and see somebody selling a vintage camera for like $5 when it's actually worth $500? Most people just let it happen. But not this kid. Yeah. He's 13, he's got a tablet, and he's running an appraisal firm in his neighborhood. You see, these families near his house, they have garage sales all the time, and they have no idea what they're selling. They're just clearing out their attics. Then the lowballers show up. Oh, that's a big box of Pokemon cards. How much? Oh, you can have them for $5, sweetie. Perfect. Well, you see, that's when the auditor would show up. He would walk up to a neighbor's garage sale and say, I don't want any of your money. I just want 10% of the extra cash you make. He then pulls out his tablet and he starts appraising every single item that these people are selling. He would check on eBay to see the realistic price. Sir, this camera's worth $200 and you're selling it for $3. What? Oh my God, really? That's so good to know. Imagine a guy trying to pay $5 for an old dusty lamp. Yeah, that sounds fair. Actually, that's a mid-century original lamp. It sold for $85 yesterday on eBay. You can have it for $60. People pay. By the end of the day, he would make $100 in commission without having to sell a single item. And the neighbors he's helping are so grateful. And honestly, I never thought about this, but it's genius. And this time I definitely gotta say, respect the hustle. One day at school, 2 girls started throwing hands in the lunch line over a yogurt. 1 single cup of strawberry chobani. Lunch was already chaotic that day. They ran out of chicken sandwiches early and the drink cooler was broken, so everybody's tense. Then a senior cuts the line and grabs the last yogurt off the tray. Another girl behind her goes, yo, that's mine. You didn't pay for it yet. Yeah, but I was next. You cut me. They go back and forth, then suddenly, boom. Tray gets smacked, yogurt hits the floor and explodes everywhere. And then it begins. A full-blown fight cuts loose. Security's still halfway across the lunchroom trying to make their way. People are gathering, phones out recording this. But in the dead background, you can see Mrs. Jenkins, the school principal, standing there, arms crossed, definitely invested in this fight. Hey, cut it out. Kids are yelling, hey, somebody should stop them. Mrs. Jenkins, do something. I'm observing, okay? Security's coming, it's fine. Ladies, please. The girls get pulled apart. Nobody is seriously hurt. Just a busted lip and a ripped backpack. But the footage hit Snapchat that afternoon with the caption, Mrs. Jenkins ringside. Nobody got suspended, just a couple detentions were handed out. For the rest of the year, whenever kids saw Mrs. Jenkins in the cafeteria, they would chuckle to themselves. Look at Mrs. Jenkins. She's only here because she wants to see round 2. Can't blame her. Can't blame her. I left my phone in the bathroom. Go ahead, sweetie, just hurry back. There it is, the trick. It didn't work on anybody else, but Miss Carter, she was the golden ticket. Every week, it was the same move. 4th period, same delivery. I think I left my phone in the bathroom. I think I left my phone in gym class. I think my phone's in the cafeteria. She always believed him. She never asked for follow-ups. So this kid would disappear for 10, 15 minutes. He would hit the vending machine, he would chill in the hallway, and this never failed until it did. On Friday, he pulls the move. Miss Carter, I left my... Go check, just hurry up. Boom, gone. He does the thing. He's strolling the hallways. Goes to the vending machine, his normal routine. Well, 10 minutes later, he comes back to class, and she's lecturing about about something. He tunes out. After being completely spaced out for a couple of minutes, he then, dead serious, raises his hand and goes, "Miss Carter, I think I left my phone in the bathroom." The class freezes. Didn't he just do that? Wait, you left it again? The same phone? He completely spaced out. He did it for a second time in one class. He's cooked. I think I've been played. This kid gets written up, and that trick never worked ever again. Nice try though, kid. This kid got in trouble for running in the sandbox. Not fighting, not throwing sand, running. He was in first grade, and apparently the school had a rule. No running in the sandbox. Well, this kid always got very excited to play, like a kid should. It's recess, there's a sandbox, I would be excited as well. And he got punished for it. Not just once, they gave this kid over 20 detentions for running in a sandbox in first grade. And then at the end of the year, the school planned a field trip. But the principal says to this kid, "You've had too many infractions. You cannot attend the field trip." So the parents say, "This is absolutely ridiculous. I can't believe the school is doing this. You know what? Let's take him ourselves." So they take him. Same place, same day. They bought their own tickets. I think it was like a zoo or something. Well, the school finds out. They see him at this place. And the principal suspends the kid on the last day of school because he showed up to the same place as the school field trip with his parents. So instead of going to the last day of school, this kid's grandma took him shopping at the mall. And honestly, that sounds way better. What kind of school is this? In most classrooms, misbehavior gets you a warning or a detention. Well, back in the 80s, it was something completely different. In this classroom, any deviation from the system, like talking too much or misbehaving, throwing stuff, spitballs, it required a physical debt. "Hey, Kyle, spitball!" The teacher didn't make them sit in a corner or put a goofy hat on. Next to his desk on the floor laid a sheet of coarse sandpaper. One mistake, you had to get up there and kneel down on the sandpaper. And you weren't just kneeling, you were working. You had to stay in that exact position while your knees grinded onto the grit while you had to write massive amounts of words. And what you normally did is there were a list of 30 words, and you had to write each word 10 times. The punishment was designed to make them try to write fast, because the longer you took to write these words, the longer you had to kneel. It's actually incredibly horrifying, and it would completely not fly today. I can't believe that's what they did back then. Eventually, they stopped doing that, thank God. But that teacher never got in trouble because, well, it was the 80s. He was a kid. His mom dragged him to the nearest 7-Eleven. "I don't want to go." "Well, that's too bad." Well, they get there. She goes in the store, but he waits outside. He then sees this older, strange-looking guy sitting against a wall. Hey, want to see something cool? And he's a kid, so he said yes. Of course he wants to see something cool, which you should never do. The man then smiles, and then pulls off a prosthetic leg and showed this kid his leg stump. Look at this. The leg stump had a very weird smiley face drawn on it in Sharpie. The kid absolutely freaks out. "That's not cool." The man then panics because I guess he had good intentions. "Oh, no, wait, look, it's actually cool, look." The kid's now ugly crying. The mom runs out of the store. "What's going on?" "His leg." The man's embarrassed. The mom's freaking out at him. I don't know why he showed the kid his leg stump anyway, but she went home with her kid. And years later, when he sees a 7-Eleven, he freaks out a little bit still. The principal's toupee gets stolen during school. And within minutes, everybody knows, and everybody's joking about it. "Dude, Mr. Killman looks so dumb." Kids were whispering in the hallways. Even teachers were trying not to laugh. And whenever he walks down the hallway, people pull their phones out to record him. He's humiliated. He's trying to act normal, but he's falling apart like a sad little puppy. And for a second, you almost feel bad for him. But then you remember, yesterday he called you into his office. He thought you were involved in a fight that you weren't involved in. So you're in there, and he's just going in. Now, don't you lie to me. I know you were involved in this. You're a horrible student. I knew the second that you got here, you were gonna cause trouble. And I bet your grades suck, don't they? Let's look them up. You know what? I'm not gonna look them up. I'm just gonna send you home to your horrible mom. You know, she was in my class when I taught here years ago, and she was horrible then too. Get out of here. Pretty brutal. And here's one more thing. You know exactly where the toupee is because you saw the kid that stole it. He secretly hid it behind the trophy case. Nobody else knew. And that kid is definitely not coming forward, so now it's only you. You could grab it, hand it back to him, be the bigger man, and maybe the principal will treat you differently, or you could destroy the toupee and let him be humiliated for the rest of the day. What would you do? This school prank lasted for 2 years. It all began at this high school when a single rubber duck appeared in the school's water fountain. And nobody thought much of it. It was just a random duck. Who cares? Until the next day, 2 ducks. Then 4, then 10. By the end of that week, there was rubber ducks appearing in every sink, every toilet, and even in students' lockers. Teachers were losing their minds. The principal, she was done. She kept saying on the intercom, "Whoever's responsible for the ducks, speak up now, please." Silence. Nobody confessed. So they gave up. They figured it would eventually sizzle out. But here's the thing, it never stopped. For 2 years, rubber ducks would randomly appear in the craziest of places. Ceiling tiles, inside the vending machines, somehow. One duck even appeared in the vice principal's car. It became a legend till this senior year. It was graduation. The principal was giving her speech when suddenly a banner dropped down. What was on the banner? A single rubber duck. This kid walked to the front of the stage and said, "It was me. It was always me." This teacher was bogus. When this kid was in middle school, he had just finished his work for the day and went up to go to the bathroom. Okay. That's when his teacher said, "Excuse me, sit back down. Where are you going?" I don't care. Sit back down. If you want to go somewhere, raise your hand." So the kid sits back down and raises his hand for what feels like a very long time. She was ignoring him. She even began to read a book until finally, "Oh, Kyle, I'm sorry. Yes, what? Yeah, can I go to the bathroom, please?" "Oh, yeah, of course. You don't need to ask me. You can just get up and go. You're a big boy." Classic. My favorite comebacks. Let's dive right in. "Hey, Kyle." "Oh, hi, Stacy. What's up?" I was wondering, if you wanted to go to the dance with me." "Oh, ew, I'm just kidding. I would never go to the dance with you. You're so gross." "Hey, Stacy." "What?" "Maybe you should try eating your makeup next time. It might fix your super ugly personality." "What?" "Hey, don't talk to her like that, loser." "Oh, hi, Chad. I would smack you in the face right now, but I'm against animal abuse, so..." "What did you just say to me?" "Actually, never mind." Did you just shit your pants? No, I didn't. I promise you, I didn't. Chad, I think you just shit your pants. Oh my god, it stinks. You did, didn't you? Oh no, Ew, Chad pooped his pants.
Gross. Hey bro, that's nasty.
Hey, what's up, Jason? Hey, Seth. Oh, hey, Chad. Chad, hi. What? We heard what happened yesterday during lunch, and you can't sit at the bullies table anymore. We actually filled your spot. What? Who? Carl. Yeah, he's a bully now. Hey, Chad. Alright, I'll just sit over here then.
The rest of Chad's high school career was absolutely miserable. Nobody forgot the day he shit his pants. Not even on his graduation day.
Chad Johnson.
Hey, that's the kid that pooped his pants.
Chad smells like poop. Chad smells like poop.
For the next 15 years, Chad blamed Kyle for ruining his life. He waited for the day to be able to get back at him. And finally, that day came.
Chad, hi. How are you? Hi, Kyle. How are things? I've spent every day thinking about what you did to me in school. What are you talking about? What do you mean, what am I talking about? Me pooping my pants. You did that. Chad, that was so long ago, man. I'm married now. I have a kid. I'm sorry. Yeah, well, I bet your kid is so annoying, he makes his Happy Meal cry. That's actually a pretty good one, Chad. I wished the best for you, but today proves what I always thought. Your only purpose in life is to be an organ donor. For old time's sake, huh?
Mommy, I think that guy just pooped. Come here, sweetie. Get away from that disgusting man.
This petty revenge is chef's kiss. The person that shared this story said that one night she was driving home after a long, hard day at work, and she decided to stop at her favorite cookie store. It was right before closing, but she wanted to get in there really fast and take a cookie home for her and her husband.
Hi, yes, I know you're closing soon, but I just want to get 2 cookies.
Well, as she was walking up to the counter to place her order, a man rushes into the store, pushes her out of the way, and cuts her in line. Yeah, excuse me. What? Yeah, hi, I wanna... sorry, bro, she was definitely here before you. Well, she was still kind of mad about the situation, so when she went to place her order...
Thank you so much. I'll take every single cookie you have in the store.
You want our entire stock?
Yes.
What? Sorry, bro, we actually just ran out. It's crazy. Here are your cookies. Thank you. Q. Alright, the slap didn't happen, but everything else was true. Still, that guy sucks. Good for her. Alright, class, first we dissect, then eat. This biology teacher had a side job as a chef, and apparently he was pretty good. Well, the kids in his biology class would frequently have these days, dissection days, where you would dissect frogs, cats, I don't know. But most of the time, the teacher would order a bunch of squid from the local market. The squid would be thawed out, raw, and passed out to every student. Alright, you should all have a worksheet and a squid. You have 25 minutes. Get to dissect it. Everybody would dissect the squids. They would use the ink to write messages to each other. It sounds kind of fun if you like that kind of stuff. But then the teacher would do something different. He would pull out a George Foreman portable grill from underneath his desk, plug it in, and preheat that baby. Then he would collect all these squids from each lab table, bring them up, season them, and toss them on the grill. Oh, it's smelling good. The first time he did this, the students thought he was absolutely insane. They're like, there's no way we're gonna eat that. But then someone tried it. Wait, that's actually good. Let me try. That is good. I guess the way he cooked this squid was just delectable, and they were constantly looking forward to these days. And although it sounds weird, I think that's a good picture. This kid's not all there. I'm thirsty. But he wanted to focus really hard on this spelling test. He didn't want to be distracted by taking a sip of water or asking to go get some. So this was his brilliant idea. He went to the water fountain before class. He got a very big gulp of water and left it in his mouth. He heard that this is what the squirrels do. They put nuts in their mouth and they save them for later. Well, that was his idea, but with water. So now he's sitting in class. The teacher's naming the words, and he's writing the spelling down with a bunch of water in his mouth. All right, class, your next word is fortitude. His plan was to take small, tiny gulps throughout the test, so he never went thirsty. Well, about 2 minutes into the test, his cheeks give way, and a bunch of water just falls right on his desk. The test and the desk were soaked. Water was now spilling on the floor, and other kids noticed. The teacher walks over. Why is there a bunch of water on your desk and the floor? The kid didn't know how to respond, so he just looks her in the eyes and said, I have no idea. The teacher was so confused by that answer that she just walked away. No more questions were asked. He failed that spelling test. What? This is what happens when your math teacher sucks. This guy's kid is in 4th grade, and she's been having trouble in math. The whole year she's struggled, but when they got to multiplication and division, she struggled even more. I just don't understand it, Dad. I know, let's just try it again. The thing is, she just doesn't understand the method they're teaching, and it doesn't sound easy. So for multiplying, it's a bunch of steps. You break up the numbers, you draw boxes, then you multiply and then add them together. Something like that. And she gets these problems wrong like 90% of the time. So the dad's like, you know what? I'm gonna teach you the way that I learned how to do multiplication. She's like, okay. And guess what? Oh, Dad, I understand it. She under-frickin-stands it. Homework is a million times easier now because she learned it and she's actually solving the problems. Well, here's the issue. His daughter had a math test a few weeks ago, and she came home very upset. Dad, I failed. What? Let me see your test. She got a 50%, even though she only got 2 problems wrong. Technically, it should have been a 92%. So he goes into school and he has a conversation with the teacher. Can you explain why my daughter failed? The teacher says, yes, it's because she didn't use the method that I taught in this class. Excuse me? The dad pointed out that the test just says to show your work. It doesn't say to use a specific method. But she said, well, that's too bad. I taught my method to these students for a reason. Your daughter didn't use it, so she fails. Oh, the dad was furious. He went to the principal. He admits that he made it a pretty big deal. What are you guys teaching in the school, huh? Some bogus way to do multiplication? It's so much easier than that. Now my daughter's failing even though she got a 92% on the test. Except with a lot more yelling. The principal called the teacher in and forced her to change the girl's grade to an A. The principal then apologized to the dad and said, it won't happen again. Better not. But for real, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. This kid's dad freaked out. They're at the grocery store shopping for their weekly groceries. Cereal, milk, frozen waffles, frozen pizza, lunch meat. Everything seems normal. Then they pull up to the aisle. They're at the cashier. He scans everything. All right, that'll be $125.64. The dad then goes into his pockets and pulls out this giant stack of coupons. Yeah, all right, here you go. Hands them to him super confident. And the cashier starts scanning them. Beep, boop, beep, boop, bop, bop, beep. Then he goes, Sir, every single one of these is like 9 years old. Everyone expired. Super expired. Scan them again! Okay, beep beep boop, beep beep boop. The beeps obviously came from the machine, not his mouth, but this is a video. But he says again, yeah, no, they're all expired. Dad starts raising his voice in front of everybody at the store. His kid is with him. He's like, Dad, please settle down, we're in public. This is absolutely ridiculous. Doesn't make any sense at all. You know what? I'm leaving. He then starts to push the cart out of the store. Dad, we have to pay. I'm not paying for anything. Now the kid is standing there by the cashier. Cashier's watching the dad push the cart out and looks at him. Yeah, this is gonna be a problem. Kid then does something that he never forgave his dad for. He pulled out his wallet and paid for the entire grocery haul with all the money he made that summer from mowing people's lawns. Here, this should cover it. He was saving up for a brand new bike. Worst part is, his dad never paid him back. That's messed up. Meet Johnny. Johnny thought he was the smartest kid in the 7th grade. He spent all Monday night practicing his fake stomach pains. Ooh, something kind of hurts. Hope I'm not getting sick. I hope you feel better, sweetie. Well, it works, because on Tuesday morning, his mom fell for it. Oh, Mom, the pain is worse. Oh, my poor baby. Well, I'm heading to work. I'll call you into school. Stay home. Get some rest. Okay. He felt like he pulled off the heist of a century. Spent all day playing video games, thinking to himself, my friends are probably so jealous of me right now. Well, the next morning, he goes back to school, walks in like a king. What's up, guys? The second he gets into the building, he stops. The floors look extra shiny. Everyone's huddled in different groups, watching a video on their phone. He sees his friends. Yo, what's up? His friend says, bro, you picked the worst day to be sick. Apparently, during 3rd period the day before, there was supposed to be a routine fire drill. But it wasn't just the alarm that went off. Something malfunctioned, and the sprinklers in the main hallway went off. We're talking gallons and gallons and gallons of water hitting those floors. One kid even took the bathroom soap and sprayed it on the floors as the sprinklers were coming down. Slip and slide! The best part was, it was 100 degrees outside, so this felt awesome. Teachers were sliding, the principal slipped, the weird kid from class used a lunch tray as a boogie board. Everybody went home soaking wet, but they said it was the best day of school ever, and that's all anyone talked about for years. There was Johnny. Oh, that sounds fun. It was amazing. Hope you're feeling better, by the way. Oof. Tough break. Every school has that one kid who is super talented at something random. At this one school, his name was Marcus, and he was amazing at flipping water bottles, but not the normal way. He was able to flip these water bottles and have them land on their cap on crazy surfaces, like the edge of a chalkboard. Watch this. Nice. He made it look so effortless that this one kid in his class wanted to try it for himself. It was study hall, very quiet, and he's sitting there. He's got a half-empty Gatorade bottle, and he's thinking to himself, this is my chance. I'm gonna flip this bottle, land it on its cap on the teacher's desk. You see, Marcus was in this study hall as well. Oh, this kid went for it, gave it a flip. Marcus is gonna be so impressed. Here we go. It was like slow motion. Flip, flip, flip. And suddenly, the cap fell off. He didn't tighten it enough. And this Gatorade spills all over the teacher's desk. What the heck is your problem? He panicked. Marcus did it, Marcus said. But no, I didn't, bro. The teacher said, yeah, I don't believe that. Marcus is a god at flipping bottles. Teacher knew how good Marcus was. He didn't believe this kid for a second. I'll take myself to the office. Yeah, that's a good idea. Tough break. So this one guy's at Lowe's, and he's shopping solo. DIY plumbing situation. He's in the aisle looking for parts. He's totally zoned in. When, out of nowhere, he kind of tweaks and had a little freak out moment. Turns out, it was a yellow lab. The dog sniffed him. That's it, just a little snout boop. Nothing more. But this guy spins around like, what the hell, man? And the dog owner is like, you'll be alright, man, chill. Now, any normal person would have taken a breath and been like, okay, yeah, you're right. Hi, what a good boy, you know? But this guy loses it. That is not your call to make. Don't tell me I'll be alright, are you kidding me? He's just full-blown going off on this dude. And the guy calmly says this, you know Lowe's is dog-friendly, right? He sniffed you, man. Big deal, you're just being a jackass now. And our guy says this right before he walks away. Off. He grabs his stuff, he storms to customer service. I want to file a complaint. About what? A dog sniffed me. So yeah, he left mad, still very much heated, over a dog sniff. Imagine being that guy.
Please, I'll eat anything else, just not this.
No, that is your tray, and that is your banana. Eat it. This kid goes to a small private school, the kind where everybody knows everybody, and lunch is always the same. Same trays, same rotations, and the same lunch aides watching over the room. Well, there was this one lunch aide, and for some reason, she did not like this kid at all. She never said it out loud, but you could tell. It was obvious. Other kids could toss their full milk away, leave veggies on their trays, just waste food, but him, for some reason, she watched his tray every single day, making sure he eats every last bit of food on the tray, which is absolutely insane in my opinion. Well, one day the school serves bananas, and this kid hates bananas. Can't stand the smell, he doesn't even like to touch them. He pushes the banana to the side and starts eating the rest of his food, hoping she wouldn't notice because he knows how she is. And here she comes. She stands right next to him and points to his tray. Eat the banana. I don't like bananas. Doesn't matter, you're not getting up till that tray is empty, young man. Can I give it to somebody else, please? No, it's your lunch. You eat what you were served. While everyone else finishes eating, the table clears out, lunch is over, and he's still sitting there just staring at the banana. Eventually, he picks it up, takes one bite, and gags. He tries again, he gags again, and he throws up right there on the table. You're absolutely pathetic. Then she says this, go to class, and next time, don't make such a big scene. That lady is the worst. Is that popcorn I smell? Room 114. Bring $1. Garlic cheddar just dropped. So this kid's school had a rule where you couldn't sell anything during school hours or on school grounds. And he wanted to start a business like many people do because it's the frickin' hustle, baby. Well, one year he got something for Christmas. It was a mini popcorn machine. So one day he brought it into school. It wasn't the big carnival one, it was one of those mini ones that you could put on a countertop. Well, on this day, he left it in the back of this empty classroom, the one that nobody used anymore. And he had an extension cord running from the popcorn machine to an outlet. Nobody noticed. And then he made signs to pass out. Free popcorn. Suggested donation $1. Room 114. At lunch, he'd leave the door open just enough, so people could smell the popcorn as they were walking towards the room. He had everything. He had cups, he had flavors, cheddar, garlic, ranch, even sweet chili. And what was genius was that he wasn't technically selling anything, so he couldn't really get in trouble. It's just popcorn. I offer it and they donate. Business boom. He had his friends standing around the hallway and going through the lunchroom telling them that room 14 has free popcorn. He even had Tabasco sauce packets to level it up. And if you guys never put hot sauce in your popcorn, you're severely missing out. It is a snack, I'm telling you. They started calling room 14 the Pop Shack. Now, teachers did start to notice this, mostly because of the smell. Eventually, the principal tracked it down and headed to room 114. What is this? Free popcorn. Suggested donation $1. You want some? The vice principal paused. He looked around. There was even a tip jar. He was impressed. Honestly, smells pretty good. Yeah, I'll take a cup of this sweet chili, and then you guys can just carry on. Here's a $5. That was that. They let him keep doing what he was doing. The only rules were this: no smoke, no fire, and no mess. And they had to have a teacher nearby to check in every so often, which they all agreed to. That was very reasonable. And by the end of the year, this kid had earned over $600 in donations. That is legendary behavior. Does he, ever talk? Nah, not once. All year. So this new kid transfers to the school halfway through the year. Middle school. Kinda tall, quiet, doesn't talk to anybody. At first, people think, well, maybe he's just shy. But then weeks go by, and nothing. Not a word. No volunteering, no answering questions, not even a here during roll call. He does every assignment, he scores high on tests, but still, not a single word. It gets to the point where people just stop trying. He's the quiet kid, and that's it. Then one day, it's May. There's a sub in math class. She goes down the roll sheet, gets to his name, Evan. And for the first time all year, he goes, here. The whole room freezes. Did he just, yep, out of his, And that's when his cousin, who's been in the same class the entire time, pulls out a crumpled $50 bill out of his backpack and hands it to this kid. Turns out, back in January, they made a deal. Alright, so you're transferring to my school after the holidays. I bet you can't go the rest of the year without saying a word. Well, I bet you I can. They made a frickin' bet. If he had lost the bet, he would have had to eat a raw onion. $50 and his cousin buys him a meal from Cane's. Good deal to me. Bro, say something! He won't, and that's the scary part. So there's this one kid, real quiet. Doesn't talk much in class, doesn't have a crew, just walks through the day, hoodie up, backpack on, he keeps to himself. And for whatever reason, this other kid keeps trying to start stuff with him. It starts with little jabs, locker shoves, shoulder checks in the hallway. This guy's trying to get a rise out of the quiet kid. But the quiet kid, he never reacts. He never looks mad, he's just always silent. And that keeps making this dude even angrier. He starts saying stuff loudly in the lunchroom. Yo, hoodie kid thinks he's better than everyone. See, he's too scared to speak. There's a whole week of build-up. People start whispering, yo, a fight's happening on Friday. Between who? That big guy Jeff and that kid who never talks. Oh, here we go. And then Friday, passing period, a crowd forms in the hallway. Phones out, everybody's waiting. The loud kid's already in the circle and he's yelling. And the quiet kid, he just walks in. No expression, no talking, he just drops his backpack on the floor. Oh, you're showing up now, huh? You scared? You scared, man? Quiet kid says nothing. Say something, bro! Still nothing. So the loud kid swings. He misses. And the quiet kid, one move. Two moves. It's over. He picks up his backpack and he walks away. By 7th period, people are calling him Silent Mike. The next day, Silent Mike doesn't talk unless it's important. He once got bumped in the hallway and didn't blink. He never even messed up his hoodie. One teacher goes, wait, who's Mike? The Silent Mike nickname didn't really make sense because kid's real name is Darren. Good morning, this is Channel 3 School News with your top story. At approximately 9:08 a.m. yesterday, a 6th grade student constructed a fully functional toll booth in the main hallway, using nothing but masking tape, a clipboard, and what seemed to be a strong sense of purpose. Eyewitnesses state the student was wearing sunglasses and would stand there with his hand out, calmly stating, "That's $1 to pass, exact change only." Over the next 12 minutes, multiple students complied. One teacher walked through without paying, and she was booed. It's just, what makes you so special? We're all paying the toll, so should you. So we booed her. By 9:20 a.m., this student had collected $28 in singles and exact change. He offered receipts, he stamped hands. He told students premium passes were coming soon. When asked why he was doing this, this was his reply. It's a good idea, right? I just came up with it. I thought there's no way I'm going to get away with this. But I did. As the morning went on, the hallway bottlenecked. The late bell rang. Chaos was beginning to ensue. By 9:26 a.m., administration intervened. The toll booth was dismantled, the tape was peeled, and the clipboard was seized. When asked if he had any other things planned in the near future, he responded, "Oh, just you wait." And back to you. Did you just laugh? Yeah. You need to follow the rules. So this kid gets invited to his friend's house after school. It's his first time ever hanging out outside of class with this person. He gets there, it seems normal, parents seem chill, the living room smells like candles and soup. They all sit down to watch a movie, totally normal. About 10 minutes in, a funny scene happens, like genuinely funny. Oh, you smell like my dad. That's when the friend's mom pauses the movie. She turns to him and she goes, "Excuse me, did you ask me if it was okay to laugh?" The kid kind of sits there blinking. He thinks she's joking. She's not. "I know this is your first time here, so I'll let it slide, but in this house, we don't laugh until someone gives permission. Okay?" He looks at his friend and his friend just nods. The mom adds this: "It just saves us from getting carried away. Laughter leads to chaos." Let's watch the movie. So they just keep watching, and anytime something funny happens, he sits there dead silent, while his friend casually goes, "Requesting laugh? Approved." After that day, he never went back to that friend's house ever again. Yo, what is that? Oh, that just happens sometimes, don't worry about it. Okay. This kid's standing in the lunch line, bored, hungry. Then he sees it. Something's moving by the nachos. It's tiny, it's hard to see, but something is definitely moving by the nachos. He squints and looks a little closer. Tiny legs, tiny wings, bugs everywhere. But it's just right at the cracks. Like he noticed it, but other people might not have. He pulls out his phone and zooms in. Oh, it's worse than he thought. The next station, the pizza station, same thing. He's zooming in the cracks, and there's just bugs crawling around everywhere. He shows the lunch lady. "Ma'am, we got a situation here." "Oh, that's just the way it is sometimes." "Excuse me? He's like, I bet, and he goes to the principal's office. Shows the principal. He looks at the pictures, and the principal's acting kind of suspicious now as well. Well, thanks for letting me know. You can delete those pictures now. We're gonna take care of this. Kid's like, you sure, man? Yeah, it's handled. Appreciate it. Go back to class. Delete them. We're good. Kid nods and he walks out, but he did not delete those pictures at all. That night, he posts the pictures online and he tags the school and the health department. By 7 a.m. the next morning, parents are blowing up the school's phones, emails flying, screenshots posted everywhere. It's a mess. At lunch, the cafeteria is like chained off. The health inspector's there. Full-blown investigation. Shortly after that, the principal gets on the loudspeaker. Effective immediately, lunch service is suspended until further notice. And once the health inspector got an even closer look, school had to be shut down for 4 days. Kid's a legend. To this day, they still call that the Great Cafeteria Shutdown. Water's a reward. You don't just get it because you're thirsty. This house is a desert. At this house, water wasn't a right. It was a privilege. Every day after school, this kid had the same rule. No exceptions. Drop your backpack, sit at the table, and do your homework. No TV, no snacks, no water. His mom would say it every day. Water is a reward, not a right. Well, one day he gets home absolutely dying of thirst. He makes a quiet move towards the kitchen. He almost reaches the faucet. Don't even think about it. She's already standing there, arms crossed. Homework first. So he's at the kitchen table, math textbook open, mouth dry as sandpaper, watching the faucet drip. 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 He finishes his homework, he gives it to her. Messy work. Do it again. Bro almost passed out right there. When he finally earned a glass of water, she handed it to him like a prize at a carnival. Here's your water. You did really good. The next day at school, he took extra water fountain breaks because he never knew how his mom would act when he got home from school. Oh my gosh, we made our first $2. No, we actually made $1. We gotta pay the security guard. Here. In some neighborhoods, kids run lemonade stands. You know, cute little summer businesses, 50 cents a cup, smiles all around. Not on this block, though. On this block, you needed protection. Every Saturday in this one neighborhood cul-de-sac area, these kids would all set up their lemonade stands. Some were different. Some had like strawberry lemonade, others had regular lemonade, some was selling like fruit punch. You know, it was a nice little thing that the neighborhood kids were doing. Anyway, they'd be all set up and they're good to go. But then here comes this 8th grader. Bike gloves on, backpack over one shoulder. He pulls up to the first stand. Nice stand he got here. Good traffic spot, nice weather today. Would be a shame if someone knocked it over. The little girl selling lemonade just blinks. She's almost gonna cry. But then her friend says, just give her one of our dollars. Hey, it's just a protection fee, okay? Covers you for the whole day. Accidents happen, you know. Have a good one. And he goes to the next one. You guys paying for protection today? You know, kids are scrambling. They're digging in their shoebox of change. Hands over $1. He nods. Pleasure doing business with you. And just like that, he's off to the next lemonade stand. Kid made $12 in fees that Saturday alone. Now, this guy wouldn't just take the money and leave. And although he came off kind of tough and mean, he actually would stay there all day and watch over these lemonade stands. So I guess they actually were paying for protection. Now, it was a pretty nice neighborhood, so nothing ever actually happened. But, hey, you know, you gotta respect the hustle, I guess. All right, boys, time to confess your sins. I just want to play Mario Kart. So one time, this kid got invited to a sleepover, and it was pretty normal until bedtime. At exactly 9 p.m., this mom walks into the kid's room with a clipboard. Big smile, and she says, okay, boys, time to log your sins for the day. This kid thought she was joking. No. She passes out worksheets to the two kids. The top of the page says daily sin accountability. Bro, what if I didn't sin today? Everybody sins every day. Just think of something. So they're sitting there. This kid's half asleep. His friend is writing very jubilantly, like this is a normal thing for him, because it is. This mom does this to them every night. And he's there just trying to think of what's going on. So he's writing stuff like, took the last Pop-Tart, thought about punching Gavin today, laughed when Gavin fell off the couch. It was a full confession session, and the mom was taking notes. And if you forgot something, she would help you. Did you think anything bad today at all? I am right now. What? Nothing? They weren't allowed to go to bed until the mom was convinced that they had every sin accounted for. The next morning, he woke up and he noticed that the mom had put their sins on the fridge, like a leaderboard. He never went to that house ever again. And honestly, I wouldn't either. That's freaking creepy. Wait, are we friends or am I just your study guide? What? So this girl's like super smart. She's always making group projects super easy. She shares her notes. She always helps her friends study. And she doesn't complain. But one day she noticed something. Nobody texts her unless it's about school. Nobody invites her to anything. Nobody asks her how she's doing. Just stuff like, hey, what's the answer to number 4? Can you send me the notes, please? Hey, do you have the homework from yesterday? But then she realized the group chat she's in with all her friends, they only ever talk about the homework. And she finds out that there's a separate group chat that she's not even in. She didn't even get invited to Kayla's birthday party. The next day at lunch, she sits down with her group of friends. She looks them all in the eye and she says, quick question, who here knows my birthday? Or my mom's name? Or my dog's name? Or my middle name? Dead silence. One girl mumbles, isn't your birthday like December 25th? That's Christmas Day. And no.
Oh, I love Christmas.
The girl then stands up and says, well, you guys can figure out your own homework answers, study help on your own, okay? I'm out and I am done with all of you. Fine, we don't need you. Except they definitely did. After that day, they kept blowing up her phone when they needed homework or test help, and she just ignored it. Screw those friends. She made a new group of friends that actually appreciates her for who she is. Yo, I think the cat fell off the milk. Oh, we always keep it like that. It's so the milk can breathe. I'm not drinking that. It was this dude's first time visiting his friend's house, and everything seemed normal for like 5 seconds, you know. He walks into the kitchen and he notices that there are no lids on anything. No cap on the milk, no lid on the orange juice. Peanut butter jar open, the soap bottle open. Hey, you guys forgot to put the lids back on, everything. Nah, bro, my mom says lids trap bad energy. Everything's gotta breathe. Even the milk. Especially the milk. He watches in horror as his friend pours himself a glass of milk from the open jug. He sits down for dinner, and he notices this kid's mom is bringing over a jar of spaghetti that's been sitting out on the stove all day without a lid. And earlier in the day, he saw flies around it. She notices this kid's uncomfort. Oh, don't worry, sweetie. This is all still good. It just had to breathe all day. At one point, he looks over to the kitchen counter and he sees the dog licking the butter that's sitting on the open butter tray. Hey, what? And nobody's saying a word about it. Throughout the entire meal, he's pushing his food around, pretending that he's eating it. But he's not gonna touch this stuff. And everybody else is chowing down like it's a Thanksgiving meal. After that, he always gave an excuse whenever he was invited back to that house. Oh, sorry, my mom said I can't, leave the house on Tuesdays. Because to him, one visit to the no-lid house was enough for a lifetime. Yeah. I agree. I bet I can do more push-ups than any student in this assembly. Oh yeah? So this one principal was mad cocky. Always walking around like he was the final boss of the school or something. Well, one time during an assembly, he was giving a full speech about discipline and mental toughness or whatever. And in the middle of it, he goes, I bet I can do more push-ups than any student in this assembly. Everybody laughed. They thought he was joking. But then this one kid stands up and says, all right, bet. The whole gym goes quiet. The kid starts walking to the front like it's about to be a championship match. And the principal, he doesn't back down. They clear a space in the middle of the gym floor. The principal takes off his jacket and rolls up his sleeves. The kid just drops into position. No warm-up, just locked in. Someone starts counting down. 3, 2, 1, go! And boom, they start. Everyone's cheering, cameras are out. They hit 20, 30, 35 push-ups. The principal's arms start shaking, his face is red, he's sweating. And the kid, well, he's staring him down mid-push-up. Like he wants this man to quit. 40, 45, 50 push-ups, and boom. Principal falls face first into the gym floor. Just collapses. He's done. The gym goes dead silent once again. And the kid, well, he stands up. He raises one fist in the air. People are screaming and jumping, and this kid is feeling good. They entered the assembly early that day, but for the rest of the year, that kid walked around the hallways like a legend. You're a legend, bro. There he is. Push-up guy. Hi, Steven. What did the principal think was going to happen? That's crazy. I've been teaching 7th grade for 12 years. You know, I've seen a lot. I've broken up fights, I've handled lockdowns, but nothing prepared me for the yogurt incident. It was a Thursday. It was quiet. And the students were working on some packet. And then out of nowhere, splat. Go-Gurt all over the ceiling like some dairy-based grenade. And the worst part is, nobody claimed it. No one looked up, nobody laughed. They sat there like they planned it. It was driving me crazy. I filed an incident report. I even brought the janitor in to look at it so I could use him as a witness. He said, and I quote, "That's not the first yogurt I scraped off the ceiling." To this day, nobody knows who did it. But every time I see yogurt or smell yogurt, God forbid I taste yogurt, my stomach drops. I'll give her a clean 7. Could have been worse. 7. Generous. Every time this class got a sub, there was this one kid who would quietly take out a piece of paper, title it Sub Scoreboard, and start grading the sub as the class went on. No one said anything, no one gave it away, it was just this perfect silent agreement that his class always did. He kept the scoreboard hidden in between his notebook like it was official. And the stuff he graded? Petty, specific, unnecessary stuff. -1 for mispronouncing names, -2 for saying, I don't know, I'm just the sub. +3 if they actually followed the lesson, -1 if the class got too loud, and bonus points if they brought in snacks. He'd make a mark, nod to himself, and keep going. Just stay in your assigned seats, okay? I don't know, I'm just a sub. Then at the end of the class, right before the bell, he would walk up, fold the paper once, and hand it to the sub. Final score, 7 out of 10. Not bad. Some subs laughed, some were not amused at all, and one time this sub read the paper, looks at the kid and says, "You think you're funny? Let's see if the principal thinks this is funny." The kid just blinks, grabs the paper back, and adds 1 more score. -5, no sense of humor. He folds it again, hands it back, and he walks away. That kid is hilarious. Wait, is he breathing? No, he's fine. He's built for this. This kid walks into class one day, and he realizes there's a quiz. Well, he didn't study at all. So instead of taking a 0, he decides to take a gamble. You see, there was this massive beanbag chair in the back of the classroom. Like one of those giant overstuffed ones that sinks when you sit in it, almost like it's quicksand. Well, this kid, he was small. Like strategically small, you know? The kind of kid who can blend in anywhere if he wanted to. So he gets into class a little bit early. He looks at the beanbag and then he looks at the clock. Oh, okay. And he just goes for it. He walks to the back of the room, lowers himself in the beanbag, and just disappears. And it completely swallows him. Gone. No limbs, no face, just beanbag. From the teacher's desk, it looks empty back there. Just looked like a normal beanbag. She hands out the quiz, starts the timer, and doesn't say a word. She assumes this kid's absent. Meanwhile, he's just inside this beanbag, curled up in silence, just riding it out. And just as the bell rings and everybody else is grabbing their stuff, getting ready to leave the classroom, he rises from this beanbag like a ghost and just walks out. And to this day, that teacher still thinks he was absent on that quiz day. That's absolutely crazy. One day at this one middle school, a teacher walked past the lockers and stopped. What is that? Beef jerky. It was a full, seasoned pack of beef jerky, just sitting on top of one of the lockers. He took it down, threw it out, and he thought nothing of it. Where did that come from? Anyway, the next day, same locker, new beef jerky pack. What? He's like, okay, what's going on? He throws it out again. Day after that, boom, another one. Okay, what the heck? Every single day. Take it down, a new one shows up. Take it down, a new one shows up. He even tried to catch whoever was doing this, like a stakeout, waiting around the corner with his coffee like it was a mission. Well, I'm gonna get you little monster, I'm gonna get you. But he missed it. He could never catch the person doing this. And word started spreading to the students. That locker area became a spectacle. Whenever the jerky would show up, students would be around taking pictures of it and honoring it like it was a shrine. And get this, it kept happening for a month. Sometimes the locker would change, sometimes it would be hidden better, but every single day, somewhere in the school, there would be beef jerky. Then one day it just stopped. No warning, no reveal, no note, no nothing. To this day, no one knows who did it. And honestly, that's legend behavior right there. Respect to the beef jerky kid. Shut it down. We can't. There's a wait list. At this one high school, there was this one kid that never talked. Like ever. Nobody even really knew his name. But one Monday, he walked into the cafeteria with a massive massive backpack. Everyone was very curious, like, what the heck is in there, man? He sat down and he pulled out a full-size blender, a jug of orange juice, and some frozen fruit. He plugged it into an outlet and... Everyone was staring. This kid's making a frickin' smoothie? And lunch? He poured that smoothie into a cup and handed it to the kid next to him. For me? Okay. Yo, that's good. Just handed the kid a smoothie without saying anything. The next day he did the same thing. Brought the blender in, made smoothies, but this time he handed 3 cups out to people. And again, every student loved them. Day after that, 5 cups. It's like he was testing the clientele to see what they liked. Well, by Friday, he had a handwritten sign that he put in front of this lunch table. Smoothies, $2. Mango, pineapple, or strawberry banana. And the wild part was he was good. Frozen fruit was packed in dry ice. The straws were pre-torn so we could just pop them in there. And he had a punch card system. Buy 5, get 1 free. At first, the teachers didn't really notice. He was blending during the loud parts of lunch. He even had a kid from drama club doing the marketing. Attention everybody, everybody. There are smoothies at table 20. Go get yours now. This all started crumbling down when kids stopped waiting in line for lunch and they began waiting in line for these dang smoothies. What in the world is going on over there? Some kid's got a blender and he's making smoothies and people are paying for him, man. I don't know. Well, shut it down. I can't, man. There's a wait list. Mrs. Johnson's in line. I'm so excited for my smoothie. Principal didn't care. He came over and took the blender, unplugged it. He was shut down. But was he? That kid missed school the next day. But then he came back with a battery-powered blender. He didn't need to plug it in anymore. During lunch that day, the principal and the school police liaison came and got him. They brought him to the office and everybody thought he was done for. But then the next day, he came back with a new and improved sign. Smoothies, $2. Mango, pineapple, or a strawberry banana. Now approved by school. Turns out him and the principal made a deal. Okay, fine, you can sell them at lunch, but you have to also sell them at every single school event this year and we take a 5% cut. The money you make during lunch, that's yours though. Deal? By the end of the year, that kid earned enough money to buy a used car. He was the silent smoothie slinger. You gotta respect the hustle. Yo, dude, Jeff got office detention. What? He is so cooked. There was this one school where regular detention happened in room 117. Boring. You sit, you do your homework, you write an essay, standard stuff. But there was another kind of detention that nobody ever wanted to go to. They called it office detention. Only certain kids ever got it. No warning, no explanation, just a slip handed to them that said, report to the principal's office 3 o'clock. God, no! Once they walked in, the door shut behind them. There were no windows in this office, which made it 10 times worse. No phones allowed. You weren't allowed to do your homework. You weren't allowed to do anything. What you did have to do in office detention was this. Just sit there, across from the principal, in total silence, staring at each other. Have a seat. Okay, on that. This is office detention. Look at me. Once they were settled, no one would say a word. Nobody would move. It would just be complete silence for an entire hour. And if you broke the silence, the hour would start over. Nobody knew what the point was. There was no lesson, there was no scolding. Just slow, silent, psychological punishment, which in my opinion is horribly messed up. But I guess the weirdest part is it worked. The kids that went there never got it again. That's just insane. This teacher was mean for no reason. She snatched phones, she gave out detentions like it was candy, and she always blamed the wrong people. So this one kid noticed something. Him and the teacher had the same exact water bottle. Same color, same brand, same size. So one night, he filled his water bottle with pickle juice and spicy pickles. He screwed the lid on tight, and he labeled the lid, "Do not touch, pickle juice inside." The next day, he walked into that teacher's class early and casually left the water bottle on her desk. Didn't say a word, just sat down and he waited. Halfway through the lesson, she picked it up without even looking, took a big sip, and instantly froze. What is this? It worked. The kid said this. Wait, I think that's mine. She took a closer look at the water bottle and read the lid. Do not touch, pickle juice inside. Why was this on my desk? I guess I forgot where I left it. I'm sorry. Principal's office now. He goes to the principal's office. So why are you messing with Mrs. Johnson? I didn't. Well, then how did she randomly drink pickle juice? We have the exact same water bottle. I even have the receipt. I bought it last month. Okay, but why was there pickle juice in there? because I made pickles and I want to eat them at lunch. Okay, but you couldn't have put your name on the water bottle or something? I did. I even put on the lid, do not drink pickle juice inside, so it's not my fault she doesn't pay attention to. Hey, language. I'm sorry. Am I in trouble? I mean, technically, no, you're not, so get out of here. And that's basically how it went. He didn't get in trouble because technically he didn't do anything wrong. Honestly, that's a legendary prank. This school said it was doing something new for safety, just adding tiny audio monitors right outside the bathroom. It's not a camera, it would just record sound. The principal said it was to prevent fighting, loitering, and other nefarious activities. Weird, but technically legal, so most people just ignored it. But a few weeks in, something strange happened. Kids kept joking how they could overhear like a feedback noise in the vents, like a weird clicking or popping noise when you pulled your phone out. Well, one janitor overheard this and he did not like it. So one night after hours, he checked the ceiling above the boys' bathroom, and that's when he found it. A live microphone inside the bathroom. He didn't say anything right away. Instead, he pulled it down, took pictures of it, and called the parent that he trusted. The parent didn't call the principal. She called the lawyer. And then the news. By the end of the week, it was everywhere. Turns out the principal had installed 6 audio devices in bathrooms across the school. No signs, no disclosure, no permission. By Thursday morning, a school district representative entered the school, walked into the principal's office, and 15 minutes later, the principal left the school holding a box. He was fired. And the janitor, he got like 30 gift cards from thankful students and parents. That janitor definitely did the right thing. Everybody's shoes off before the test. But I'm not wearing socks. Well, that's too damn bad. So this teacher had a rule, a very specific rule. Before every test, shoes had to come off. No exceptions. It didn't matter if you didn't have any socks on. It didn't matter if it was cold. She said it helped keep the energy in the room settled and grounded. Her exact words were, "Your mind works better when your feet can breathe." Obviously, at first, people thought she was joking, but she wasn't. She even had a bin by the front door labeled testing shoes. That's where students would put their shoes in when they got in the classroom on test day. And if you did forget to wear socks, she had loaner socks, like actual backup socks that she kept in her drawer. People rarely used them, but they were there. But one day, one kid walks in and he doesn't take his shoes off. He just sits down. He begins the test and then she stops everything. "Hey, you need to remove your shoes or leave the room." And he's like, "You know what, miss? Is this even in the handbook? Are you even allowed to do this?" She doesn't answer him. She just stares at him, walks over to his desk, and writes a big 0 on it. That's when he gets up, walks to the office, and tells them everything. The next week, a new policy came down. No teacher may require students to remove shoes. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. So this guy's nephews are graduating high school. It's a big crowd, he knows it's gonna be packed. So he shows up to the graduation early. He brought his own folding chair because he has bad knees, and he brought some headphones. So he opened his chair, sat down, and popped his headphones in. And because he's early, he was just chilling by the entrance. About 40 minutes before they let everybody in, this pregnant woman shows up. Somebody must have let her cut in line because all of a sudden she's right next to him. And not even 5 minutes later, she taps him on the shoulder and says this, "Excuse me, would you mind letting me sit in your chair? I'm having trouble standing." Okay. He's polite about it, He goes, "I'm sorry, I can't. I got really bad knees and bad feet, so, I need it. That's why I brought it." She nods and then asks again like 2 minutes later. And he's like, "Yeah, still no. I'm sorry." So now she's annoyed. She's huffing and puffing. She turns to her husband and is like, "Can you say something to him, please?" "Hey, man, she's pregnant. Would you mind letting her sit in that seat?" The gall of these people. Okay. Anyway, this guy says, "I get it, but I really do need it. That is why I brought it. She can wait in the car or maybe sit on the curb or something. I don't know. It's not my problem." Now this lady's husband flips. Wow, you are such an a**hole. Here's the thing. This guy came early. He planned everything. He brought his own chair because he has bad knees and feet. That's his chair. And now he's the bad guy for not giving his chair to some rude pregnant lady? Please. Most kids start a lemonade stand to make some extra cash, but Dax was playing a much darker game. He opened a barber shop in his garage, and even though his fades were terrible, every kid was lining up for a $5 buzz cut. Step up, who's next? It was like the social event of the summer. Everybody was hanging out, listening to music, laughing at how bad the haircuts were. "Bro, you look goofy." What? But Miles noticed something weird. After every haircut, Dax was picking up some of the hair and putting it in a Ziploc bag. Once the day was over, Dax had cut like 15 people's hair. Miles stuck around and asked him, "Bro, why were you putting your hair in bags? Hey, check this out." He brought him to a shelf, and on that shelf was hundreds of Ziploc bags. Each of them had hair in it. and each of them were labeled. This is Miles from August 12th. This one is Cooper from July 4th. Look at all this. I had the genetic blueprint of the entire 8th grade right here, labeled and dated. Miles just laughed. Bro, you're weird. But Dax leaned in. Everybody thinks I'm a bad barber, which is true, but they don't realize I got a much bigger plan. Next time someone does me dirty, steals my seat at lunch, makes fun of me, I'm gonna find a crime scene anywhere, and I'm gonna drop their hair right in the middle of it. What? Let's say Miles calls me a loser. Well, I hear sirens. I follow the sirens. A crime scene. There was a murder. Miles goes right on the floor. The police. Whose hair is this? They go to the computer. It's Miles. Miles goes to prison for murder. Bro, that is so messed up. And it was. And obviously, that really wouldn't work. But Miles made sure to stay Dax's friend, just in case. You would hate for some of his hair to end up at a crime scene. It started as a punishment. This one school made a new rule called silent lunch. No talking, no whispering, no noise. Principal said it was to help students reset their behavior. But it didn't reset anything. It just made kids miserable. Lunch felt like a detention. Everybody just sat there, chewing, in complete silence. Plastic spoons hitting trays, a single juice box slurp from down the way. For this one kid, he had an idea. The next day, he walked in quietly. He opened his lunchbox, and he pressed a button on this little speaker. It was bird sounds, like the kind you hear in nature. It wasn't music, it was like a calm forest vibe. The teachers looked over, but they didn't say anything. Technically wasn't talking, and it technically wasn't breaking the rules. So he did it again and again. By the end of the week, 3 other kids were bringing in their speakers as well. One kid played rainforest noises, another kid played waterfall sounds. This one dude was playing a recording of whale noises. And the wild part, it worked. The lunchroom got calmer, but not in a weird way. It felt peaceful. Students were sitting in silence, eating to ambient waterfall loops and jungle bird noises. The teachers were like, honestly, this is not bad. People were loving this. The next week, the principal walked in and froze. The lights were dim. Some kid brought a lava lamp. And this lunchroom, the silent lunchroom, had turned into a full-blown spa. He just stood there blinking, smiled to himself, turned around and left. He thought, maybe I actually did something here. This is nice. And no one said a word. You know, that's actually amazing. Dumbest things people got in trouble for at school. In middle school, this kid's grandma had just passed away, and it was his first day back after the funeral. This is kind of what happened. Did everyone turn their homework in? I only count 17. And there's 20 of us, so who didn't turn their homework in? I didn't. And why didn't you turn it in, Kyle? Did you even do it? You should know this. My grandma just died, and I was at her funeral over the weekend. I'm sorry, but I wasn't thinking about homework. Well, that's a shame, Kyle. I'm giving you a 0 for the entire week. Are you dead, Kyle? No. Homework is more important than funerals, as long as you're alive. Well, that pissed him off, and he lost his mind. You are an absolute... My grandma just died. She was my favorite person in the entire world, and I was at her funeral over the weekend, and now you're punishing me for not doing some stupid math assignment? Screw you! I wish you died instead of my grandma. That's it! Go to the office right now. Good heavens. He explained what happened to school administration, but nobody cared. He was suspended for a week. When this kid was in 5th grade, his teacher had one really strict rule. She never repeated herself. She would explain things once, and if you didn't hear it, well, too bad. Well, one day, the class was working on a really big assignment that was due the next day. Teacher stood up and said, "All right, listen up, I'm only saying this once." Then she explained the instructions in one long, fast speech. The second she was done, this kid, let's call him Ralph, raised his hand. "Excuse me, can you just repeat that last part, please?" "Ralph, what's the rule?" You don't repeat yourself?" "Exactly, so figure it out." A few minutes later, Ralph was tapped in the shoulder by one of his classmates. "Hey, I got you, man. I wrote all of it down. Here." He took the notes, relieved, super thankful, and he started copying them down on his own piece of paper. And he thought that was the end of it, but it wasn't. The teacher came over and snatched the notes off his desk. "Absolutely not. If you didn't listen the first time, that's your problem." "Are you kidding me?" Well, Jake just sat there silent, didn't say a word. The next day, the class turned in that assignment that was due. Once the teacher was done grading it, she said, "You didn't turn anything in." "Yeah, because I didn't hear the instructions." "Well, that's a 0. And you're a..." "What did you say?" "You heard me." "No, what did you say?" "I'm sorry, miss. I don't repeat myself." I mean, it was crazy, but it kind of worked because from that day on, the teacher went easy on Ralph, and she even let him do that assignment over again. One day, this kid came to middle school with pink eye. He didn't really tell anybody about it, because if the school knew he had pink eye, they would make him stay home. Well, this was right around the time where classes were having some of their biggest tests of the year, and students were getting stressed out. Oh, dude, I couldn't study at all this week. I'm gonna fail this test, like, it's bad. I tried my best. Hopefully I passed, but you know. What's wrong with your eye, dude? I have pink eye. Oh my god, you have pink eye? Why are you here? Because they're serving chicken nuggets at lunch today. I can't miss that. Dude, if you give me pink eye right now, I'll have it by tomorrow and I won't be able to take the test. Gives me more time. Dude, alright, $10. Okay, here. Alright, you ready? Go for it. Okay. Well, word spread, and that day, this dude made $350. The school got pretty suspicious why tons and tons of students had pink eye at the same time. They couldn't really pin it on anybody. And it was a win-win. This kid made some good money, and tons of students were able to pass their tests because they had more time to study.
Yay!
So one day in 7th grade, this kid got called into the principal's office. He had no idea why. He walks in, sits down, and the principal just stared at him. The principal asks, "So, you want to tell me what you did?" The kid's confused. "I have no idea what you're talking about." That's when the teacher walks in, and she looks pissed. "Don't play dumb, you know exactly what you did." Now the kid's kind of panicking. "I swear I don't know, what did I do?" "You skipped my class yesterday, but I know you were at school because I saw you before and after lunch." "What were you doing?" "Huh? Probably something illegal." But here's the thing. He was literally in her class yesterday. "No, I wasn't. I was in class. I was sitting on my usual seat." "You're crazy. I took attendance, and you were not there. Detention." Now at this point, this kid is super frustrated. He already did not like this teacher. Now she's accusing him of skipping her class for whatever reason. So he asks the principal one simple question. "You have security cameras in every hallway, right?" Of course we do, yeah, for the safety of the school." "Then check them." The room goes silent. The teacher grows pale because she knows she messed up. They send the kid to sit outside the office while they looked at the cameras, and 15 minutes later, they called him back in. "We checked the footage. You were in class." "I know." "You can go. I'll handle your teacher." But as he was walking away from the office, he could hear the principal yelling at the teacher. "Now why on God's green earth would you make something like that up?"
Oh, I didn't.
"You better shut your mouth.
You're on thin ice. You're on thin ice.
So this one high school had a basement. Students didn't really know it existed. It was used for maintenance, storage, stuff like that, and it was always locked. Well, one day, this kid, let's call him Jake, was wandering around the school during his free period when he noticed the door to the basement was kind of ajar. The janitor forgot to lock it, so he goes down there. It was a huge, dusty storage room. Old desks, broken chairs, random junk everywhere. But in the middle of the room, there was this tiny metal box that caught his attention. "What is that?" So he opens it. Inside the box was a single envelope. He picked it up, felt something inside, and he looked. And what he found in there would make his stomach drop. Oh my god. Inside the envelope was an old student ID. The photo was faded. The name was a name he did not recognize, and the date on it, 1986. Underneath the ID was a set of car keys, and underneath the car keys, a newspaper clipping. The headline, "High school senior still missing, car found abandoned in school parking lot." He slammed the box shut and ran the heck up the stairs. He was getting out of there. He tried telling a teacher what he saw. The teacher was kind of curious, so she went to the basement door, but it was locked. The janitor walks up. "Hi, can I help you?" "Yeah, one of my students was curious about something in here. Do you mind if I come down here and take a look? Looking for like a metal box or something?" "Oh, sure. Yeah." She goes down there, but there wasn't a metal box to be found anywhere. She thanks the janitor, goes back upstairs, and tells the student, "I don't know what you saw, but there's nothing down there right now, so it must have been your imagination or something. Go to class." But deep down, he knows he came across something very sinister that day.
আসতে বলুন না সেটা আমার একটু জরুরি কথা আছে
বাবা
ভাই আমি তো এলাকা ছাড়ুম ছাড়ার আগে
তুমি একটা গিরাট টুকরা ছেলে, যেই ছেলে তানিয়া আমার পিস্তলটা নিয়ে আয় তো।
টাকা দুধটা টাকা কি দুধটা রাইখে গেলাম
মাত্র সে ফেসবুকে স্ট্যাটাস দিয়েছে সে একটি অনাথ বাচ্চাকে
কত স্যাক্রিফাইস করছি এলাকার বড় ভাই থেকে রিকশা চালক হয়ে গেলাম আর সেটাই করবো যে গরম না। আর এই বড় ভাই তোর মায়ের চিকিৎসার দায়িত্ব নিছে।
সেলিম ভাই ভালোবাসার লেগে জেল খাটছিল।
ভাই আপনি যত কথাই
এই বাড়িতে ওই বদমাইশটার কথা একবারও ভুলে উচ্চারণ করবা না।
ভাই মিনিমাম আপনি 17 লাইন একটা কবিতা লেখেন। 17 লাইনের কবিতা
কিন্তু ছাপাই না, সব মাথার ভিতরে থাকে। যখন পড়তে ইচ্ছা করে মাথা, আমি জানো ওরে বাপ করে দেব। আর আমি কি কমু জানো? কমু তানিয়া ভালো কেমনে বেটা ক কস না কেন ক বেটা।
এটা পড়ে আপনার প্রেমে পুরো রূপ করে পড়ে যাবো।
আর তোর
আপনি পারবেন ভাই, আপনি পারবেন।
ও 700 লাইন লিখবো, আর বাদ বাকি 300 লাইন আমি লেখা বলাম।
একটু নামিয়ে দাও। মানে ও ছাড়া পাক না পাক তাতে আমাদের কি?
ভিতরটা শিমুল তুলার মতো নরম হয়ে ছিল। যাওয়ার সাথে সাথে একটা
তুমি এতদিন যা করেছো তাতে আমার একটুও মন গলেনি। আর তোমাকে ভালোবাসার কোনো কারণ
ও আপনি সে বড় ভাই? ভাই আপনার নাম তো আমি বহুত শুনছি, কিন্তু আমার
বুঝছস?
ভাই আমি এটাই বুঝলাম না, আপনি এই মাইয়া তানিয়ার মধ্যে কি পাইছেন? এলাকার সব মাইয়া আপনি
মানুষ মাত্রই ভুল করে, তাতে কি?
ভাই এমন যে করব
দাঁড়ান, মাথার ভিতরে অলরেডি একটা তানিয়ার বাপরে আমি চ্যালেঞ্জ করছি, 7 দিনের মধ্যে তানিয়া আমারে আমি প্রেমে ভালাবো কেমনে বেটা ক কস না কেন ক বেটা।
ভাই কি কম গন, মানে হ্যাঁ বাড়িতে কেমনে বাইক করবে এটা তো জানি না। এর মধ্যে আপনি কবিতা দিয়ে দিচ্ছেন। আমি
কোন হারামজাদা আমার মায়েরা ডিস্টার্ব করে?
খালু আপনি শুধু শুধু রাগ করছেন।
আমি হইতেছি রিকশা, তুমি হইতেছে এসি বাস।
মামা পাড়া দিত।
আপনার ছেলের সাথে আমি আমার মেয়েকে বিয়ে দিব। ঠিক আছে ভাই স্যার।
ফুটে যাব না, মানে এত হ্যান্ডসাম ফ্রেন্ডলি সুন্দর
আর জিত চিরদিন থাকবে। একটা এতিম ছেলের জন্য আজকে আমি
আমার মতো একটা মানুষকে ভালোবাসা যায়।
সত্যি বলতেছো তানিয়া?
সেলিম,
আবার আসবো স্যার। আগে আপনার বাসায় আসতে গেলে পা কাঁপতো, এখন আর পা কাঁপে না। তুমি অনেক ভালো একটা মাইয়া, তোমার অনেক ভালো হবে।
আমার মা হাসপাতালে ভর্তি, ডাক্তার কইছে 2 ব্যাগ রক্ত আর 1 লাখ টাকা যদি আজকে
জন্য পাগল, আর আপনি তানিয়ার জন্য পাগল।
আরে জুলি, এইটারে কয় ভালোবাসা। তানিয়া, তোমার হাতের রান্না।
তোমার বড় ভাইয়ের ভালো না থাকলে এখান থেকে চলে যেতে বলো।
আরে জুলি, তুমি আবার কি রাইখা কি
প্রেমে ফেলতে পারো, তাহলে আমি নিজে দাঁড়িয়ে থেকে তোমার আর তানিয়ার বিয়ে দিব।
সারাদিন ধরে ভিক্ষা করছে, আমাদের 1 লাখ টাকা আর 2 ব্যাগ রক্ত লাগবে। কি করবো বলো, আমি তো আর প্রফেশনাল রিক্সা চালক না, প্রেমিক রিক্সা চালক। আমার তাহলে ক কি লিখছস, কয় লাইন লিখছস ক।
সে কি তোরে খুব ডিস্টার্ব করতো? আরে না, আরে শোন না একবার কি।
ভাই আমাকে আপনার সাথে লেগে যান।
নাম তোরা বুঝছি তো আমি, আজকে আমার বিজয়ের দিন। এখানে 100 কবিতা আছে, সার্ভিসটা তো একটু আলাদা থাকবে তাই না?
দেখেন আমি কলেজে যাব, আমার দেরি হয়ে যাচ্ছে, এসব নাটক দেখা
নাইছে আর কি। ওই যে তানিয়া তো পড়াশোনা করে সন্ধ্যার সময় যদি একটু খায় মাথাটা ঠান্ডা। এই এগুলা কি? এই কার্ডের ভিতরে আমার মেয়ের নাম লেখা কেন? এই বাইরে মনে কর পিক করতে বুঝছো? ওই যে আবার আছে বলছে